Every day, without realizing it, most dog owners are doing things that quietly push their dogs away. You think you're showing love. You think your dog reads every gesture exactly the way you mean it. But the reality is that some of your most well-intentioned habits are being completely misunderstood by your dog. It's not that your dog ignores what you're doing, it's that the message getting through isn't the one you're sending. And here's the frustrating part. These aren't rare slip-ups. There are things happening in your house right now, probably several times today. The good news. There are 7 simple adjustments, each taking less than 60 seconds, that can transform how your dog sees you. Not just as the human who feeds them and opens doors, but as their person, the one they'd pick over anyone else on Earth. Welcome back to Canine Mindset. If this is your first time here, hit subscribe now, because what's coming next will change the way you think about your dog completely. Let's start with the mistake nearly every dog owner makes without even noticing. 1. Picture the scene. You walk through your front door and your dog completely loses it, spinning circles, jumping around, whining. Maybe snatching a toy, just to have somewhere to put all that pent-up energy. What's the typical owner reaction? A firm down, a stern settle, or simply turning away and waiting for the dog to calm down on its own. It sounds reasonable. Nobody wants to reward wild behavior, and you've probably read somewhere that ignoring it is the smart move. But here's what that advice misses about your dog's inner experience. Dogs are pack animals, and coming back together after time apart triggers an ancient reunion instinct. Out in the wild, pack members returning from separation engage in an elaborate exchange, greetings, scent-checking, vocal calls. It's not chaos for chaos's sake. It's a bonding ritual passed down through thousands of years of canine evolution. That moment you walk in the door might be the single most emotionally charged point in your dog's whole day. When you cut that ritual short, even gently, even with good intentions, your dog doesn't process it as calm discipline. They experience it as an interrupted moment they don't understand. Over time, households that consistently shut down these greetings see dogs with reduced oxytocin, the hormone tied to bonding, during those reunions. The excitement doesn't disappear, it just morphs into something closer to anxiety. Now here's what actual research backs up. A study in the journal Applied Animal Behavior Science showed that dogs greeted warmly and enthusiastically by their owners had noticeably lower cortisol, the stress hormone, for hours afterward. Not just in that first minute. So here's your daily habit. The second you're through the door, give your dog a full 30 seconds. Crouch to their level, let them take in your scent, talk to them. Let that reunion actually play out. You're not encouraging bad behavior, you're closing the loop on something biologically wired into them. Just 30 seconds, and you'll notice your dog settle faster, feel calmer, and stay more connected to you the rest of the night. But that's only the start, because the next habit is something almost every owner does during what feels like their most loving moment together, and it's backfiring without them ever realizing it. 2. You've probably locked eyes with your dog and felt something unmistakable, a quiet connection that doesn't need any words. And that instinct is right on the money. There's remarkable science behind what actually happens when dogs and their humans look into each other's eyes. A well-known study out of a Japanese university found that sustained eye contact between dogs and owners triggers an oxytocin surge in both species, not just the dog, both of you. It's the exact same hormonal reaction seen between a mother and her newborn. Eye contact flips on the bonding switch for both of you at once. Here's where things go sideways, though. Most people make eye contact with their dog the wrong way. Long, unblinking, intense stares, even when they're feeling nothing but affection. But to a dog, that kind of hard, fixed stare reads as a challenge or a threat. Canine communication treats unbroken eye contact as a dominance signal. So when you hold that gaze too long or with too much intensity, your dog's nervous system can interpret it as tension, even if your heart is full of love. You'll notice the tells if you're paying attention: a quick glance away, a lip lick, a yawn, the head dipping slightly. These aren't signs your dog is bored. They're your dog trying to de-escalate what their instincts are reading as a standoff. What you want instead is soft eye contact, relaxed, unhurried. Let your face go loose, your eyes half-lidded rather than wide open and fixed. Think about how you look at someone you're completely comfortable with. That's the softness your dog's brain is picking up on. Build this into your morning routine. When your dog is calm and nearby, look at them with soft eyes and slightly lifted brows. Hold it for a few seconds, let warmth show on your face. You'll see your dog hold the gaze longer, their tails shift into a different rhythm, their whole posture ease from alert into relaxed. And once you realize how much power lives in unspoken communication, you won't believe what's coming at number 5. A single physical gesture almost no owner ever uses. One that unlocks a level of trust few other things can reach. Stick around because we're just getting started. 3. Let's talk about what's really going on in your dog's brain while they're lounging around during your workday, your errands, or even just while you're in another room. Dogs are natural problem solvers. Their brains evolved over thousands of years around tasks that demanded tracking, quick decisions, environmental awareness, and complex coordinated action alongside humans. They were purpose-bred for jobs, herding, hunting, guarding, retrieving. That mental workload isn't a luxury for them, it's a genuine biological requirement. When that requirement goes unmet, something happens that most owners mistake for misbehavior: chewed-up furniture, barking at nothing in particular, restless pacing, digging, sock theft. None of that is your dog being defiant. It's the visible fallout of a brain that has far more processing power than it has outlets. Here's something worth sitting with. Research out of the University of Bristol found that dogs given daily mental enrichment, puzzle feeders, scent-based games, short training sessions, had lower stress hormone levels than dogs who only got physical exercise. Mental stimulation outperformed a long walk when it came to lowering stress. This habit only takes 5 minutes. Scatter small bits of your dog's food around the house and let them hunt it down by scent. Teach a new word or cue each week, practicing just 3 minutes a day. Swap a regular bowl for a slow feeder or puzzle bowl at mealtime. Make them work a little for the things they want. The payoff isn't just better behavior. It's a dog who sees you as the source of the most rewarding part of their entire day. Their brain lights up, their confidence builds, and they start turning toward you, not out of routine, but because you've genuinely become the most interesting thing in their world. And speaking of what's happening inside your dog's mind, number 4 is about something almost invisible your dog is doing right now today that most owners never even notice. Don't go anywhere. 4. This one might sound too simple to matter, but the research behind it is some of the strongest in all of canine behavior science. Most owners assume bonding requires action: playing, training, petting, walking. So when they're on the couch reading or working at a desk while their dog just lies nearby doing nothing, they feel like they're falling short, like the relationship is on hold. It's the opposite. For a lot of dogs, those quiet, uneventful stretches carry more weight than almost anything else you do together. Here's something that gets overlooked in nearly every conversation about bonding. Dogs are proximity-driven animals. One of the purest ways they show trust and affection is simply by choosing to stay near you, asking for nothing, performing no tricks, just occupying the same space. Researchers studying canine attachment have found that an owner's mere presence, with zero interaction involved, measurably lowers a dog's heart rate and cortisol levels. Your calm presence alone regulates your dog's nervous system. You're their safe harbor, their anchor, and they don't need you to do a single thing to feel it. They just need you there. What this really means is that every hour you spend in the same room as your dog, even doing completely separate things, is quietly building something real. Every time your dog picks your feet over the next room, that's a vote of trust. The habit: once a day, sit somewhere in your home and let your dog simply exist near you, no agenda attached. No commands, no petting unless they initiate it, no calling them over. Just share the space. Over days and weeks, you'll notice the gap between where you sit and where your dog chooses to settle keeps shrinking. They'll move closer, they'll relax faster, their sleep will get deeper. Because to a dog, the safest place in the world isn't the coziest bed or the warmest corner. It's wherever you happen to be. And if that hits you hard, wait until you hear number 6, a daily ritual most owners either botch or skip entirely. And it might be the single most important minute you spend with your dog each day. 5. Let's circle back to that reunion instinct we talked about earlier. that biological need to complete a greeting ritual, and go deeper into how your dog actually experiences those first seconds of contact. Because most owners are skipping the single most important step. Dogs don't lead with their eyes. They don't lead with their ears. They lead with their nose. Their sense of smell is, without exaggeration, their primary lens on the world. Dogs carry up to 300 million scent receptors, compared to roughly 6 million in humans. The portion of a dog's brain devoted to processing smell is proportionally about 40 times larger than ours. That means every interaction your dog has with another dog, a stranger, or you starts with a sniff. That sniff gathers information about who you are, where you've been, your emotional state, your physical condition, and whether it's safe to move forward. It isn't just a friendly gesture, it's your dog's entire intake system doing its job. Now think about what most owners do before petting their dog. They simply reach out and make contact, often right on top of the head, which, ironically, is one of the spots most dogs like the least. Even though it feels like the natural move for us. You're bypassing your dog's most important sense entirely. And a hand coming down from above can trigger a subtle flinch, because anything approaching from overhead reads as a potential threat on an instinctual level. Here's the shift that changes everything. Before petting your dog, offer the back of your hand at nose height, not shoved in their face, just within easy reach. Let them come to it. Let them sniff. You'll feel their nose press into your palm, and you might notice their body loosen up right after. That's the sniff completing its job, your dog's brain confirming, yes, I know exactly who this is. Only then do you pet them and start under the chin or on the chest, not on top of the head. It takes about 3 seconds, but those 3 seconds completely reshape every physical interaction you'll ever have with your dog. You become the person who waits for the sniff, who lets them take the lead. And dogs remember, more than almost anything else, the people who extend them that respect. *6. Here's a question for you. Have you ever walked past your sleeping dog and just couldn't help leaning down for a quick pet? Or scooped them up mid-nap because they looked too adorable to resist? Of course you have, we all have. A sleeping dog might be one of the most irresistible sights on the planet. But here's what's actually going on when you do that, and why it matters more than most people think. Dogs sleep roughly 12 to 14 hours a day, sometimes more depending on the breed. That's not laziness. Sleep is when your dog's brain files away everything it learned that day. It's when stress hormones reset, when muscles repair themselves, when the immune system does its heaviest lifting. For a dog, sleep isn't downtime, it's essential maintenance. And deep sleep, the stage where you might see twitching or hear soft sounds, is when the most critical repair work happens. It's also the stage where your dog is at their most defenseless. Every protective instinct goes offline, muscles go slack, awareness drops to nearly nothing. They picked that exact spot at that exact moment because they felt secure enough to be completely vulnerable. When you break that with sudden touch or by picking them up, your dog is yanked from total vulnerability into sudden alertness with zero warning. Even if they recognize you instantly and settle back down, something registers on a neurological level. That spot just became a little less safe, that sleep a little less restorative. Keep doing this regularly and you'll start seeing a pattern. Your dog starts picking more hidden spots to sleep, under furniture, tucked in closets, behind doors. They're not pulling away from you emotionally. They're just looking for somewhere their rest won't get interrupted. The fix here is probably the easiest one on this list. When your dog is asleep, let them be, walk on by, resist the pull, let them finish their rest. And you'll notice something. When they wake up naturally and come find you on their own, the greeting that follows is warmer and more present. Because they're coming from real rest instead of a jolt of interrupted vulnerability. Which brings us to the final one, and I've been building toward this one since the very first minute of this video. Because number 7 will change the way you physically connect with your dog for good. 7. Remember that oxytocin surge we talked about with eye contact, hitting both you and your dog at once. That was already remarkable. But there's a physical form of touch that goes even further. Something older, deeper, and more central to the canine experience than nearly anything else. When dogs in the same pack groom one another, something called allogrooming, they don't do it randomly. They target very specific areas: the base of the ears, the back of the neck, the space between the shoulder blades. These are spots a dog physically cannot reach or clean on their own, no matter how flexible they are. And because of that, the only way a dog ever feels touch in those exact spots is from someone they trust completely: a packmate, a family member. That exclusivity makes those particular areas neurologically distinct from the rest of their body. When you touch those spots slowly, gently, and rhythmically, your dog's brain doesn't just register it as pleasant, it registers it as belonging. Studies into canine social behavior show that this kind of touch activates the exact same bonding circuitry triggered between packmates in the wild. Here's what most owners do instead: pet the top of the head, scratch above the tail, rub behind the ears from the front. None of that feels bad to your dog, but none of it carries the neurological weight of what we're about to walk through. The daily habit. Once a day, spend 60 seconds doing this while your dog is calm and settled, not wound up, not fresh off a walk, not trying to get your attention for some other reason. Rest your hand at the base of their skull, right where the neck meets the head. Use your fingertips, not your flat palm. Apply light, slow, circular pressure, and gradually work your way down the back of the neck toward the shoulders. Keep it slow, keep it gentle. Think of the rhythm of a wave rolling in. Watch how your dog responds. Their head will drop a little. Their eyes will soften or close. Their breathing will slow and deepen. If they're standing, you'll feel their weight shift back into you. Those aren't just signs of relaxation. They're the physical signature of an oxytocin release happening in your dog's brain right now. You're not simply petting your dog in that moment. You're activating the exact same neurochemical response shared between bonded pack members. And when you put all 7 of these together, the reunion ritual, the soft eye contact, the mental enrichment, the quiet shared presence, the nose-first greeting, the protected sleep, and this final grooming touch, you're not just becoming a better dog owner. You're becoming something your dog's brain recognizes on the deepest possible level. Not just the person who takes care of their needs, the person they belong to, the one they'd choose out of every person on earth to be near. That's what canine mindset is all about. Not just training, not just obedience, but understanding what's truly happening inside your dog so that everything you do speaks their language. If this video changed how you see your dog, subscribe to Canine Mindset right now. And pass this along to every dog owner you know, because most of them are working hard to love their dogs the right way, and they deserve to know this.